business for over 35 years. We work in all different types of manufacturing across the world, although mostly in North and Central America. And the slide is this is a standardized or canned package, so you can install it and start working with it immediately. You don't have to bring in a consultant or teams of consultants to program it up before you can get any use out of the system.
Gotcha, okay.
And the reason for getting a system, as you know, is to get increased productivity out of your shop floor, and these are the major ways that it's done. A sampling of some of our customers. I think we have, I'm not sure if there's any box makers on this particular list at the moment, but we do have paper.
You got Smurfit Group in there, and Temple Inland and GP, so they're either manufacturing paper, corrugated, or something similar.
Yeah, I know Georgia Pacific is paper. Temple Inland, I don't remember what they are, and Procter & Gamble, I think we're measuring, they're making bottling or something.
Okay.
Now here's the architecture of the way our system works. For each machine that you want to monitor on the shop floor, you need to connect one of our devices to it. And we're attached to it via electrical signals. So a photo eye or a signal off from the machine. There's something that, like on the die cutting operation, each time a cut is performed, we get a signal. And from that, we can count the number of cuts you've made, and also runtime, downtime, and speed. And we get runtime, downtime off from that signal because you can set a threshold on it based upon whatever is being made. And if you run too fast or if you're running too slow or we don't see that signal within a certain period of time, we'll say that the machine is down. And for those things where we have operator interface, we prompt the operator to give us a downtime code.
Okay,
and we even have a lockout signal, which goes on when we're prompting for a downtime reason and goes off when the downtime reason is entered. This was originally designed to be tied to the machine in such a way that you couldn't start the machine up until the downtime code has been entered. And we do have some customers who use it that way. However, many customers don't want to have any reason for the machine not to start. So instead, they tie it to a loud, annoying buzzer as a way to prompt the operator to enter in the downtime code, because most of the states, shop collars are illegal.
Right.
Yeah, there's a few other inputs and outputs through these devices to monitor automatic downs. We have some outputs based upon batch count, which is a count of number of parts, which is generally used to alert the operator that it's time to pull a quality assurance sample. Our low-level device, the MDT20, has no operator interface, so there's no way to enter in downtime codes and rejects, but it will collect all your data for OEE. We can attach a touchscreen device or even a PC if you already have one out there on the shop floor to the MDT20, so you can get a graphical user interface out on the shop floor for the operator to enter in downtime codes and change jobs and enter rejects and all the work they need to do out there at the machine.
Okay.
The MDT150 also has the operator interface on it, but it's in a steel enclosure, and it can survive being hit by a forklift and continue to work. We know this because it's actually happened. Okay. A computer or screen on the shop floor is not nearly as robust. For your installation, did you want to have the operators entering in downtime reasons?
Yes, if not right out of the gate in the very, very near future. So I'm thinking probably for our application, I'd be probably most interested in like the tablet environment.
Okay.
Or there are, for most of our resources down there, we do have a computer in the area, or if not on deck, if not on the platform of the machine, it's in the area. I imagine I'd probably want to have like a dual monitor system for these guys or something like that, because their computer's there for the operation of the equipment, not necessarily for just us. So
yeah, you don't want to load anything on it that's going to impede the operation of the machinery, anyways. Right. Although I don't think that we would, but we can work that out with you later on. We also provide large screen displays, or actually you'd buy a large screen television if that's something that you'd like to have out on the shop floor. Many of our customers have them strategically placed out there so you can look up and see what's going on all the machines all the time. And it also makes the operators painfully aware that everyone can see how well they're doing.
Right.
Is that something you're interested in?
Yeah. To some extent, yes. How many and yeah, probably.
Okay. This is just a sample of one of the customers who has set up an individual display for each machine. And we provide tools that allow you to choose what information you want to display. This is actually a custom display that we made for them.
Okay, so what's going on there? Is that is there like a PC running that? Is that a WISE terminal, dumb terminal type of thing? Is that just an Ethernet connection?
Right now, in this case, it's a small Android device, basically a television stick, that's connected to their network on one side, and we use the HDMI output on the other side. Because we put a server on the polling computer, the one that's collecting all the data, which we didn't go over just yet, it's whatever device has a browser on it and can go out through television, you can use.
Okay.
Here's another customer. In this case, we're displaying all machines, and each machine has one line on the display, and the color indicates the current status of the machine. And in the back, you can see they've hooked a micro PC to the back of the television. So basically, any sort of device. And this customer got carried away and put our main displays out for each department in high traffic areas so they could see, no matter where they were, what was going on as they traveled by. Okay. Once we get the devices on your machine, they feed back to a central computer either via Wi-Fi or wired Ethernet connections. Do you currently have Wi-Fi coverage on your shop floor?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And would that be your preference, or would you rather drop a network cable to each one of our devices?
There are a lot of drops out in the plant. I'd probably use a combination if that's possible.
Okay. Right now with the MDT20 and the tablet, it can be either or, so we'd have to know in advance which one that you wanted, the wired or the wireless.
Okay, all right.
Once the data comes back to the central polling computer, it's shared across your local area network, so you can view it from any PC in the plant or any PC that can connect to the plant. And we sell it as a site license, so you can load it on as many PCs as you want without having to pay an additional fee for each one. We have links into ERP systems. We're talking about Advantzware here now, preventive maintenance packages, quality assurance packages, and we also have a web browser interface, which is similar to what we're using for the large screen displays, but you do more with it. So that if someone doesn't need to manipulate the data, they only need to look at it, then they can just use a browser on their PCs and not have to load our full client software.
Right, okay.
You can also use your smartphones and tablets with their browser to view this information. And within the system, we also have email alerts where you can set them up and receive emails, and you can actually ring your phone and let you know that machine number 7 has been down for 45 minutes, which is just another reason to leave your cell phone at home when you go on vacation.
I got to pay for the vacation, so I got to know.
Okay. Any questions on the architecture?
Yeah. The device that's collecting the pulses, the data that's feeding the tablets or the MDT20. Is it like a photo cell? What are we looking at? We're looking at like gripper bars going around. We're looking at platform impressions. What exactly are we looking at to capture that pulse to know that there's a sheet being produced, a blank being produced? Is it like a photo cell eye, or what is it?
C, all of the above. Whatever is most appropriate for your machine and your layout. If you have an existing signal, then we can use that, from some operation being done. We can potentially even see the edge of cases or boxes as they go by using a photo eye. If you have a drum type operation, we could put a proximity sensor and a reflector on that so that we could, see each operation from a rotation perspective. Or we could use direct photo eyes or proximity sensors.
Okay.
The point is, if you already have some signal that exists on your machine, we can use that signal directly. If you don't, then we can attach a photo eye or proximity sensor to get the signal to us.
Okay, so I've got relatively modern plant compared to the rest of the industry. Everything I have out there is, you know, for the vast majority of everything, it's 2009 and newer. So, you know, all the equipment is capable of capturing this data. And so I guess my initial question is, would we be tapping into the controllers of the machines to capture that pulse, or are we still better off going with a separate device to try and capture it?
That is a good question. Part of the question has to be around, like if you have PLCs controlling your machines, you may have to make a change to the program in order to produce an output for us when it's needed. Or you may...
That's something I'd like to avoid if possible. I think that becomes like a level of complexity and cooperation that would be required with the equipment manufacturers, their electricians, and I think that's an area in which time to implement and cost could run away fast.
Okay. Whereas sensors are relatively cheap.
Okay.
Other questions on the architecture?
Nope. I think I'm okay.
Okay. All right, then we'll take a look at the actual live software. This is the real-time display. The OEE that you see up at the top is a reflection of the entire facility, whereas you get to see below that the OEE for the individual machines. Here. And you get to set the limit of where it changes from red to yellow to green, and we'll change the central area of the gauge to match wherever the needle is pointing, as a way to draw your eyes to where the issues are. We use those same colors and limits for the OEE for the individual machines. Wherever you see the machine name, you'll see the current status of those machines. And for this, we're using a traffic light sort of scenario where green is running, red is down. We have colors for running fast or slow, for being in setup, for being unscheduled. And once you're used to the colors, and it shouldn't take very long, you can instantly see what's going on the shop floor and combine that with your knowledge of what should be happening, and problems become evident quickly so you can take corrective action immediately rather than finding out about the problems at the end of the shift, the next day, or sometimes even never.
Right.
Other
so
tabs.
What's going on with machine 150 where it's 1,000% efficient?
Yeah, this is because they have the wrong product standard loaded in here.
Okay.
And that specifically, if we go to the machine detail, it's supposed to be running at 300 seconds per part, and we're doing it at about half a second per part.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It brings up another point here. Right now we're looking at cycle time in seconds. Because we're in a wide variety of industries, we allow that to be configured. So it could be units per minute or units per hour, which is generally what's used in your facility or in box making plants, as I understand it. The down reject tab allows you to see downtime and reject accumulated during the shift. These numbers will zero out at the end of the shift and start accumulating towards the next shift. Machine detail gives you an overview for one machine at a time.
So the reject, is that manually entered by operators? Number of units?
It's generally entered manually by operators.
Okay.
If you can give us an electrical signal that indicates that a scrap part has been made, then it can be done automatically.
Got it.
And then we can also do some math if we're using the case count, and so we count the total number of parts that were packed at the end of the line. If you can give us an electrical signal for that, then we can count those all as good parts and subtract the total parts that went through the machine, and the difference is unreported scrap.
Okay.
Cycle chart allows you to look at your machine speed over time so you can see it ramping up and slowing down. And this is just showing you the last 50 readings that we got. To see more than the last 50, we can click on this history button, which allow us to see up to 1 month at a time or as little as 1 hour at a time. We can zoom into an area to highlight it. You can put the cursor on a particular point, and that'll change the date and time at this box at the top of the chart, so you can see when particular things happened and then find out the time and go talk to people on the shop floor. It'll also be about a strip chart recorder. We'll be showing red blocks down here when the machine was down. Next. Overview allows you to see all the machines at once, because on screens where you have one line per machine, you can only see about 18 to 20 machines at once. So you should be able to see all of yours. Same thing with floor layout, although this allows you to make a drag and drop map of your shop floor. And again, the colors represent the status of the machines.
So is that just virtually on a grid? Is that what that is?
Actually, it's free-formed.
Okay.
So you can actually overlay.
Fair enough. Okay.
Data tables is a grid or sort of spreadsheet layout of information. And with this, we have standard ones that come with the system, or you can create your own. So each person at their desk can have the information they most need for their job within the company. We also have a scheduling component, and this is one of the places where we interface with the ERP system. So if you're scheduling the ERP system, it can be downloaded into ours without you having to do double entry, two different systems.
Okay, so Tony, this one's for you. You there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, I had to get off mute. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. So we've got scheduler, and so
right.
Would we be pushing into scheduler, or what would be the recommended path there? Would be production.
Okay, so I'm going to defer. I'm going to defer to Ron Stark on that question.
Oh, hey, Ron.
Hey, Bill. How you doing? No, I'm just now finalizing the interface with these folks. So their system outputs data that we will automatically grab up and bring in the scheduler. So you use our schedule board to go ahead and schedule the way you've been doing it, and it'll push out the schedule to theirs and be reflected within their system and automatically feed the machines the scheduled jobs. So we've got that all. And then another enhancement we did to the schedule board is that after you set the schedule and walk away, you can leave it in unattended mode, and it'll automatically run and poll their system however frequently you want, so that it will do live updates into our system. And then from there, you can have your view screens hanging down, or your viewers, if you want them on the tablets or at the workstations or at your desk, to reflect that real time. And we've also generating web pages now, so that you can have those display on monitors at various places if you want, without having to install progress or anything anymore. So yeah, we're completely interfaced with them, and we'll take the feed from them in real time.
Okay, all right.
All right, so we don't have to spend a lot of time on our scheduling system, so we'll skip over to our reporting. We use Crystal Reports as our report design tool. Are you familiar with Crystal, Bill?
I am, yep.
So you can use Crystal to modify any one of our existing reports. We even provide a template for you if you wanted to generate your own. However, most customers find that our standard reports are sufficient. You can choose what report you want, the date range, the information that you want to include, and how you want to sort it and subtotal it. And then you can either preview or print. Preview brings it up to the screen. You can export it, which would send it out to a comma-separated file, so you could bring it into a spreadsheet, add other data to it, and extend the capabilities of the system that way. It allows you to produce reports such as this. Breakdown of downtime by reason, going from greatest magnitude to least magnitude.
Okay.
I chose to sort this by category, which is why it's broken out by downtime reason. We could also sort this by machine, and you'd see which machines have the most downtime.
Sure.
If you have the operators logging in, we can actually sort this by operator and find out which operators have the most downtime, or shifts, or a number of other selections. And we have some other graphical reports and trend reports, as well as traditional tabular reports. Almost every single one of our customers has been satisfied with all the standard reports that come with systems. There's only been a handful that have ever modified them or asked us to modify them.
Okay, so back to Ron again. Ron, so does AOA play into any of this? as an alternate to Crystal, or would Crystal be required if I wanted to go beyond anything that was being produced by production process?
Well, we have some AOA that's running here at Peachtree that they're putting into the scheduler so that it can run automatically and send out emails with the machine transactions. So everything, we're pulling their transactions in to fit what we have as if you had touchscreen enabled. And so AOA is an ongoing effort to always continually ramp it up and meet customers' needs. So if there's something you need, if we don't have it, it'll obviously be there. If you didn't want to use theirs is pretty mature as far as some of the offerings they have. So you may want to, look and compare and decide which is easier for you, or if you don't like to mix and match, then we'll match what they have, because we're in partnership with them now. So what's theirs is ours is theirs. So.
Okay, all right.
So those are the three main components of the system: the real-time screen, see what's going on now; the job queue to plan what's going to happen in the future; and the reports to analyze what's happened in the past. We have a couple of accessories to the system. One is tool maintenance that allows you to schedule maintenance based upon actual cycles and or run hours. Do you currently have a preventive maintenance software package?
We do. It's called Maintenance Pro, I think it's called.
Okay. Most of those do have the ability to track based upon cycles and or hours. It's just difficult to collect that information and enter it into your preventive maintenance package. You could use the ERP interface that we're using to communicate with Advantzware and feed that data into your preventive maintenance software package if you did want to start scheduling against cycles and hours, and have us feed the cycle and hours data to the maintenance system. That's
okay.
Sure.
Well, that would be like a long-term thing.
Yep.
Long-term project.
And the rest of this is mostly management stuff, managing your list of operators, and managing. You can make adjustments to downtimes and rejects after the fact through here, although you'd probably be doing it in Advantzware instead. Managing your downtime list, a number of utilities, including another place to export history, and then email notifications. This will send out emails whenever one of these events happens. You can put in as many email addresses as you want. You can even use the same email address more than once, and then check the boxes or enter the data for the things you want to be alerted to, like the machines are running slow, or if you want to be alerted to a particular downtime reason, say even mechanical or electrical, you can put in that downtime code and be alerted whenever somebody enters that code out on the shop floor. Something your maintenance people might be interested in.
Right.
And that's a reason why you might want to have your name in more than once, is to select multiple downtime and reject reasons. And one of the most popular ones is this down minutes. This is if the machine's been down for more than a certain number of minutes, we'll send out an email. And with this, you can make progressive alarms, where if the machine's down for more than 10 minutes, send a message to the maintenance manager, 20 minutes to the supervisor, 30 minutes to the manager, on and on as far as you'd like to go. You can even, bounce back to the maintenance manager again if it's still down after 45 minutes.
All right. Okay.
So that is the quick rundown of the software. We'll just take a couple minutes to take a quick look at the tablet. Excuse me, I'm actually switching over to the
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to open it up. That's what's going on. Hello? Bear with me just a moment. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Okay. Did you have any other? I think we already answered all your questions software-wise, right?
Yeah, like I said, I've sat in on demos on this before. I'm pretty familiar with OEE. I'm pretty familiar with slicing and dicing data and all that stuff. So, the questions I'm coming up with, I'm kind of asking on the fly.
Okay. This is actually running on a touch screen tablet that I have out here, but I am using a cursor just so you can see where I'm pointing.
Okay.
Over on the right-hand side, you have the OEE for whatever this date range is selected. So it can be for this current shift. So if you run 2 or 3 jobs on this shift, it'll combine them all together and you'll see the total for the shift. You can also select whole jobs. So if you've been running the same job for a week, it'll combine all that week's worth of data together and you'll be seeing that data over here and an OEE. Or the default setting, which is a current job and shift, which means just for the current job on the current shift. Down below that is a running log of what's happened on this machine. So a supervisor or yourself could walk over to it and scroll down the list to see what's been going on in this particular machine.
They do alchemy training. I'm sorry, guys. Can you hold 1 second, please?
Sure.
Okay, sorry, guys.
Okay. Right now we're looking at the main screen. You can also click the down button and it'll show you the downtime reasons. And when it goes down, it'll automatically come to this screen and ask you for a downtime reason. And then they confirm. If you enter in rejects on this device, you press the reject button, select a reason, and then enter in a quantity. We do not allow you to enter in more rejects than parts that were made, which leads to negative good rejects, which is just weird.
Right.
You can also select the next job that you're going to run. Usually it'd be a list over here, but I can configure a bunch of jobs to run beforehand. You can also create jobs on the fly and make some changes to existing jobs.
Okay, so that's like an area in which we, very dynamic schedule, I guess you'd say. So, if we got job A on, B is slated next, followed by C, it's not uncommon that C becomes next after A, not B. So that plays nicely with Advantzware, Ron, and so we have a list of jobs on the left and say, all right, well, I'm not going to B next, I'm going to C next, and we load it up and we go.
Yeah, it won't care because I'm just simply reading the transactions that are out. So if you switch from job A to C, the transactions that come out are going to be for C. So the schedule board will pick that up and it'll relate that data to C and adjust C accordingly.
Got it. Okay.
You can have operators log in by selecting the name from a list and typing in their code. You can go in and out of setup. You can even enter a lot number, so you track productivity by lot, if that's useful for you. This configuration button is password protected, although there's not a password on it at the moment, and allows you to set your configuration, like your machine name, how you want to look at machine speed, set the limits on OEE. And we even have can turn this into a manual data entry station, if that's useful for you.
Got it.
All right, that's the quick rundown of the offerings from production process.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on pace. I hope squeezing it down to a half hour. I didn't feel like you were cheating me on anything, but I think I got a good flair for what we have here.
No, it seems you understood the concepts as we were going through it.
All right. Okay.
Do you have any other questions for me?
Okay, so yeah, let's get back to the network topography, the first slide you were showing me. So what do we run? Would we be running like on a, what's the ideal arrangement? Would we have some sort of dedicated server? We run a virtual environments here for dang near anything server that we really just kind of keep things isolated and not coming in conflict with one another. So
yeah, we'd like a dedicated server just so we're not impinging upon anything else. Nothing is impinging upon us.
Right. Okay.
About this device.
Okay. So that would be in our environment just another virtual server out on our ESX server.
Correct. Yep. That's the way I quoted it, Bill.
Okay. All right. And okay. All right. So I don't even necessarily need data drop at each workstation or at each asset. We can be a Wi-Fi. We can be a tablet. Okay. I think I'm pretty good here. All right. Yeah. I think I'm good.
All right.
Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to turn the presentation over to Ron and let him talk about user-defined fields, and then we'll talk about CRM if you have time.
All right.
And I think we're finished with production process at the moment, so
Yeah.
I was going to be dropping off.
Yeah, so you guys can drop off, and if I need you, I got to you, but I think we're good there. So we'll move on to another topic, so you guys can bow out if you like.
All right. Well,
Thanks, Tim.
nice speaking with you, Bill, and good luck with the rest of the presentation.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Maureen.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
So Ron is the new presenter, and I'll let him talk from here on.
Did you get to watch the demo we did of user-defined field, Bill, or is this all new to you?
I'm sorry, Ron. This is all new to me.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let me move this off my screen. All right, so off of our menu, we have sort of a WYSIWYG builder. So you can come in here and define any screen layout that you want. In this case, you can see I have something like 13 tabs that were built. Let me just do a quick add here. We'll just do a quick test. So I can create a new grouping, whatever I want. And I get a blank palette. I get a tab, which I can come over here and rename if I want to give it a custom name. But if I want to have, you know, just an editor field, you know, if you ever play Crystal Reports or any other WYSIWYG, I can lay out my screen however I want to lay it out.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I have all the standard kind of objects, you know, a combo box, a editor, fill, and radio set. And then I have the ability to come in and give it some properties. So if I want to, you know, give it a label, things like that. I'm not gonna, I don't know how technical you want me to get with it, but anytime that I'm going through and saving these things, I can take a preview of what that's going to look like. So I just put a screen together that quickly, however fields I want. And then what I need to do is attach it to whatever program I want this to appear on. So you should be familiar through like Program Master, the same list of programs that come up. So if I wanted to find my finished good item, I can simply select that. And now I've attached it, so if I do a mouse over here, so you can see that it'll show me, and I can attach this to multiple places. So in this case, I've attached this screen to my finished good items. So if I come back now to my menu and go under finished good items, I now see up here where it says UDF data, or in this case, I got notes exist. So I can click here, or I can click on my UDF. All the panels now have this viewer. So the screen, now I already had one previously designed. So we did this for graphics packaging where they got these GPN numbers. So they can come in for each individual item and enter a value. And in this case, we have these actually importing into the schedule board, Bill, so that they can add them to their schedule board reports. And we also have the ability to add these into the AOA reports. And so I could just enter my data and save that. And so now you see how this turns to a turquoise color here, saying, "Hey, I got user-defined data for this record, whereas this one here I do not."
Sure. Yeah.
So, and that's how you get back to it, just as easy. And if I want to remove the data So now you see it went back to black. So I only store what you actually enter, so there's not blank records out there for every finished good item. It's only as needed, so it's very efficient as far as that goes. So you don't cumbersome others. You know, it sort of offsets the need to add schema changes to our database when you have a custom request, particularly if it's only for you. You know, particularly if it's only applicable to Accord, and you don't want to get quoted and billed for making all these changes and stuff. So you can come in here, build your own fields, attach them to whatever module you want, and off you go.
Okay. So.
And you can get pretty sophisticated, as you can see in this one. You know, they got pretty, somebody made a quality assurance kind of cards here. So, and then you can come in and populate these with values. So they have a yes, no, not applicable. So you customize all this. And then over here is how you attach it to the schedule board. We have some fields that are going out to ESCO for some of those clients that are, you know, implementing that. Yeah, you sound like you start to have a question there.
Well, you're starting to show me. I was going to ask about some people are using this for checklists and like in job production or pre-production and things like that.
Yeah, well, I've mostly seen it with graphics packaging. They're using this GRN number that their parent company now wants sent as part of their uploads of data. So they were able to implement that, put that in the schedule board, and when they parse that data out, now they get that, and they got away from the whole spreadsheet and having to package data up. The other place we're seeing is quality assurance. You know, at the end of a job, someone charging, they got to go in and fill out all of these, you know, quality assurances for the individual machines. And then you can see how that runs. So what that looks like to the end user. You know, you can come in at any time and change this without involving us at all. Kind of nice. Gets you away from having to worry about us from emails going back and forth and to dread it. I'll send you a quote.
Right, yeah.
Sorry, Tony.
Too funny.
No. I'm a client kind of guy.
Tony doesn't like selling. He doesn't like quoting anyways. He likes selling.
That's right.
Okay, well, I can envision this. So, so if I'm on press, is there any way? Okay, so let's say I got an operator down there, and I want to enable a job checklist, which we currently manually do. You know, piece of paper, pen, check mark, you know, whole 9 yards. So. Is there anything from the production process screen that could like get them to there, get them to a job checklist? Or is it, all right, go to another screen, get out of there, go into here, or go to a different machine, different computer? Like, where would that leave my operators if they need to conduct a pre-production checklist or a post-production checklist with a job that's being tracked, say, through the OEE product?
Well, in this case, I just attached that one to the job screen. I'd have to see where I mean, we can attach this anywhere you want. So I'd have to see where in the workflow you'd want it. And then the question is, did you need it to automatically pop up based on some conditions? In this case, you know, when they're working on a particular job, they're simply just, you know, they would highlight that job and click that button and fill this out.
So from the job costing schedule,
Again, I dynamically attached it to this module, so it can be any module that you want, Bill.
Got it, I understand.
You know, it doesn't have to be in this program. It can be wherever you want. That makes sense to you, and what it does is it attaches to that record. You know, so if I came in here and I told it, okay, save that, like I said, so this one now goes that turquoise color. There's no data there, data there. So it's wherever it really makes sense to you. You know, the GRN number for graphics was based on the finished good item. These quality lists for this client were made sense on the job, you know, the job costing module. But really, Bill, it can be wherever you want it to be.
Got it. And we may not know the answer to that, Bill, till we actually get into it, and you know, and so we, you know, you're kind of helping us lead the way here.
Okay. All right. I get it. I think I get it.
All the modules have been updated to universally be able to handle this. So, you know, you'd have to show me a place if it wasn't available, then we'll get it there. But I can't think of any that I didn't universally place it in or put the hooks in for it. I worked pretty extensively to get this up and running.
Got it. Okay.
Are you good on this one? You want to talk about CRM for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think that was just enough on to whet my appetite. I think, you know, I might come back with I think I got the broad strokes. But yeah, I can see where that could be useful.
So Ron, you want to kind of explain, or at least show, maybe you can show in Advantzware or whatever, how Zoho would interact. And if you want me to show you Zoho, Bill, I can do that on my computer. We use it for our sales team. But it's a standard CRM system with, you know, account and contacts, notes on each contact, potentials or opportunities on each account. It's just a way for you to manage your sales team. And It's all browser-based or web-based, so that if I make a note and I'm in Kentucky and you are my sales manager in Chicago, you could see that note instantly. So it kind of puts everybody on the same sheet of music.
Yeah.
From a prospecting standpoint. Once it becomes a customer, then Ron can talk about what happens in Advantzware.
Okay.
All right, so we added a toolbar up here with the handshaking, which is sort of Zoho's sort of logo with the handshake. So if you're in Zoho and you're setting up your customer contacts, whatever, at any point you can then go out and import them into our system as customers. So you see down here it says retrieving the Zoho CRM. So it went out to our accounts and found all of these customer contacts. Now these three up here that say update that are automatically checked, it was able to match them up based on the CRM ticker. So there's a field in Zoho that we sort of reserve, and so you put the customer ID into that, and if it finds a match, which already exists, then it'll bring in the before and after and saying, hey, I found a match. So if you're updating in Zoho, you can bring that corrected information back into Advantzware, so you don't have to do the double entry anymore. Right. And so if it finds a match, it automatically checks them, so that if I come down here and were to click this, it would automatically update those. If at any point I see some of these out here, and Tony's been using our Zoho for his own purposes, so you see all these where it says revenue. Right. So he's kind of teased us. Yeah, he doesn't use our Zoho the way he would tell you to use your Zoho, so I get all of his stuff that sort of flies in here. But in this case, see, like this link one, I can tell it that I want to add this. So I can turn all these off. I'm gonna add that guy.
You guys deal with Joey over there?
What's that?
You guys work with Joey over at 3C?
I haven't played with any at 3C. I'm with
Craig, right?
Craig and Kenny Lee and Paul.
Gotcha. Okay.
That name you just said, I've been there quite a bit, so I haven't had the privilege of meeting whoever that is. So.
Okay. All right.
So in this case, I have just imported Link into the Advantzware system. So I just check it and click and off I go.
So that is updating customer files, or is
Yep.
there a separate module inside a folder where that's being updated? Customer file?
Yeah,
Got it.
right here.
Okay.
So
And then also context, right, as well, right?
well, that's a separate. We're going to get to that.
Okay.
So let me see here.
So now Zoho is a web-based product. So when you click that button, you're whipping out to the web and logging into a Zoho account and viewing it. Is that what's going on there?
That's correct. So when you get a Zoho, you'll be given an ID key. And so in our system, under your infamous NK1s, I know you gotta love those, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So CRM. So you have an authorization token. Gotta love this number, huh, Bill? Now, you'd have to memorize this now because that's the only way it works, all right?
Got it. I already got it.
You got it? Can I go ahead and clear that and you can tell me what it is?
Uh-huh.
So anyway, you go out to their website once you have your account, and there's a place that you go under. And I mean, we could bring it up and I could navigate around a little bit, but I'm not the smoothest guy over there. Tony probably get you there quicker if you actually want to see that end of it. But when you sign up, just note you get an authorization token, and you need to put that in here so that we have that, so we know what account to go hit through their API web services.
Okay.
So it takes this token here and off it runs and connects you up to your account. And like I said, when you bring, so right now, see, it's going out, and we broker the web services, sits at our server in Yardley there. So we're going through there. We hit your account. We bring the data back, and then you see what you see here. Now, once you have customers and/or so here's Link. This is the one I just brought back. So you can see I filled out all that I could. Zoho doesn't have everything, although I think you can create custom fields, and we could eventually expand this, but right now I bring back pretty much, the basic stuff. So at this point, I can go here to your phone contacts. And again, we have a second link back to Zoho. This time I'm going to get the contacts. So under link, I can find all these contacts. Now, what we try to do there is we try to marry up the email address. So if there were contacts already in here and the email address is that, then that would be an update button action there instead of an ad. If it has an email address, I automatically go ahead and check off the ads for you. So if you want to bring these in, because if they don't have emails, if you go back later, try to marry them up, it won't match. And so if you add them again, you can start getting duplicates with these blank emails. So email address is the key that we use to marrying the contacts.
All right, so go back a little bit. The phone info tab. So this is the contacts part. So let's go back. So that came out of, what was that? So that came out of the customer file, and then you clicked, where'd you go get that up there? Oh, phone book. Okay, got it.
Yep, went to the phone book, because that's for contacts, right? So out there on Zoho, you got your customers and you got all your contacts within that customer. Now you're ready to bring them into Advantzware, and you don't want to rekey all that in there. So you can go out and get these, just bring them. That's all we're trying to do. We're just, you're out there using Zoho as your contact. Sales reps are out there running around using it. And then we're trying to simplify getting that information in Advantzware once you want to turn them into a client. And so for this link, I brought that customer in. Now I want to go get their contacts. So it found all these with the email address. I can take the defaults as they come. Say, yep, those are all the good ones. So I can go ahead and retrieve those. See, now I have what's on the left is what's in Zoho. What's on the right is what's in Advantzware.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. So you get a before and after. So if there were any changes, you'd be able to see them before you went ahead and updated them in, saying, yeah, I want the Zoho to be the overriding. It's the correct one. My sales reps have updated it. I got new phone numbers or updated phone numbers or updated emails. And so here are the contacts now for Link now in the Advantzware system.
Got it. Okay. All right.
So we're looking to expand. There's a lot of things that Zoho gives us, a lot of APIs. you know, we've looked at and had a proof of concept that we can actually push data back to Zoho if we want, so we can write back to it. We don't have any of that currently customer facing, but we've done the proof of concepts and all. We just haven't had anyone who's really asked for it at this point. You know, everybody's just happy. Well, okay, well, I'll go get my phone. Zoho's the master at this point for everybody, and they're just bringing them in as opposed to pushing out.
Right.
But there's a lot available to them.
If we were a brand new user to Zoho and we want to start with all of our existing customers in Advantzware, we'd push it out that way and then start working with that and then using that as the driver to update and bring back stuff in.
You could, yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Okay. And that's something that could happen today, type of thing.
It can happen in short order.
So that's the thing. That's what you've done the proof of concept on. Now you just need to tweak it.
Yeah, just give you a mechanism for make it user friendly. I mean, right now it's developer friendly. It's Ron Stark friendly. You know.
One developer friendly. A developer friendly.
Excuse me, Bill. It's the developer friendly. Okay.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Come on. I thought you had learned that by now.
I did. I just forgot.
Yeah. I know. I gotta pay you a visit. Get you back square.
All right. All cool stuff, guys. Is there more that you want to kind of show me right now, or?
I think that's all that I had on my plate for you. Is those three modules: the direct machine interface, the UDF, and the CRM. I'm trying to think if there was anything else we talked about. Oh, the query builder was another one that we talked about, but I don't know if you were interested in.
Yeah, today's not a great day to talk about queries. We had. I'll just share my pain with you for a second. So we were doing an upgrade on our virtual host, our ESX server, and we were just doing some routine maintenance last night. We were going to replace a RAM chip in there. Robert was doing a query last night and over the weekend, and he thought that a filtering a query that he'd done had caused our host server to go down. And me and my IT guy, outside IT firm, don't tend to think that would have been the case. But the long story short is our virtual host, the drive part, the partitions are just gone, flat out gone. There's nothing there. It's like it's an unformatted disk. And we're like, what the hell happened?
Oh, geez.
So yeah, I'm in my closet this morning getting dressed. I get a call from my IT guy at 6 a.m. saying I'm working on. This is where I'm at. So anyways,
is there any hope at all of getting them back, or?
Yeah, we're back. Yeah, we're the only thing I don't have at the moment is we replicate to our other building next door to another machine over there, and we're doing snapshots. The only thing I didn't get back is part of my Oracle database that drives our high bay warehouse that they told us to stop doing the snapshots and use their backup protocol, which is costing me 24 hours of transactions that I've lost. I got to figure out how to rebuild it. Now, when you say query builder, I think Robert says a suspicion. I don't think he's right. I think we have a hardware issue, and I think the taxing it's a big badass machine. I can't imagine it, but there's been 3 scenarios this year that are now starting to have a common thread, and I think at the peak of attacks on the server that something's failed, and I think we kind of like hit the wall last night.
To remove a partition is pretty hard to do, and I can't imagine. I mean, it's one thing to RM * and blow files away. It's another thing to remove a partition. That's
I know.
Remove all of them. I can't imagine. Can't even imagine what that statement would look like to have that happen.
My first question was like, are we victims of some sort of data hostage or something like that? But it's not just data. Like everything, the entire virtual machine. Like we have 13 of them or so running on that host, Boldware being one of them, and that came up just fine, you know. But it's a mystery at the moment. Our IT, like we're back. I mean, the ironic thing was that I was going to approach them and tell them I wanted to do a as live as possible stress test on data loss, and as if that server room, like, you know, got direct strike by a tornado. And well, lo and behold, I used to have that test. So the long story short is that we were able to recover in less than 12 hours from basically from a blank machine. So
holy cow!
Promising. I'm still nervous about why it happened. Anyways, that's my daily. I was gonna have 2 or 3 more people on this call with us, but they're all kind of still scrambling the jets and dealing with the aftermath.
Sure.
So anyway,
well, I did record it, so if you need me to send you a recording or put it up on somewhere, I can do that for them.
Yeah, I might ask you to do that.
Yeah, that's fine. I've got it. I'm actually going to stop recording now, so I'll keep it